Hey! Welcome to another episode of Midweek Point and Click. We're on episode 8 of Disco Elysium. We have Steve in the house. How you doing, Steve?
Hi, everyone.
We have a verdant tree. We've got a Tongs. And some Seacrest named Ryan. Good to see you, everyone. How's your week been, Steve?
Not too bad. Same as any week.
Yeah.
Testing out Commodore 64 games, though. That's probably one difference.
Excellent. You know, I thought of one. I know that you've been getting the collection for your Commodore 64 stream.
Yeah, I thought of one, and we both should be ashamed we never thought about it in the initial brainstorming. I don't know if the brainstorming thought it was done on stream, wasn't it? Or
no, I think
whether it is or not.
Just in a Discord call, I think. What was the one that we were missing?
Double Dragon.
Oh, absolutely. Was it Double Dragon 2 though, or 3 that we were playing? I don't think it was number 1, was it?
I think it's a mismatch. Like the avatar, like in game was just Double Dragon, and I think they just did a mismatch of all of them, so it doesn't really follow any particular one.
Gotcha. I remember there's like an outside level with a combine harvester or a bulldozer or something like that.
Yeah, that's the bit I remember. If you get pretty far, by the time you start running out of health, there's a combine harvester and
yeah. So the one that I thought about that we should be ashamed of ourselves as well is good old Wonder Boy.
Oh, Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
I guess they had one, but that'd be a port. That's the thing with Double Dragon. Like, should be ashamed we never thought of it, but I don't think I'll stream it because it is just a port. Like, and it probably looks bad to anyone else. The magic to us was the fact that it was running on the Commodore 64. Originally it's an arcade game, and the NES game is a port, along with pretty much any other version of Double Dragon will be a port of the arcade is the original.
Yeah. I remember when Double Dragon came out to Xbox Live Arcade, and Rob Borelli and I played it to completion. I don't think I'd ever got to the last stage, or if I did, I just don't remember it. But I didn't realize that the twist is you have to fight each other.
I never knew that. Like, I think you told me that because of Crystal. No, not Castle Crashers does the same thing, and you said it was like Double Dragon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I just know, Double Dragon. It was brutal because I wasn't very good at it, and Robert Rowley had those elbows down pat because they're like, that's the move, the backwards elbow.
Yeah, that's how to get through it. You pretty much can't get through the game. It's almost like because it's as proper arcade style, you're not supposed to get through the game, but they left in a move that allows you to pretty much, if you're careful enough, get through the whole game in one credit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Splinter Cell co-op. Oh yeah, like the Blacklist co-op one. I think that was exactly you're co-oping together, and at the very end you have to do a deathmatch style. And I guess
this one's messed. The idea is messed up because I always assumed, because it's Billy and Jimmy, and I always assumed that it's Billy's girlfriend. But then they just fight over like she's just up for grabs to anyone.
Yeah, I guess. Unless she was the boss all along and she wanted to see you both die. I don't know.
Yeah. Except she dies in number 2. The start of number 2.
Spoilers for
it's the very start. Yeah. It's also the very start. It's not like at the end. It's basically this drag. The number 2 starts off very much like number 1, except she gets gunned down. And it's like, it's the thing that Jeff Gerstmann says. It's like, usually it's happily ever after, but this one it's like, oh, you won the girl, but nah, this is called escalation. We're just gonna flat out cut mouse and shoot her.
Nice. Speaking of Splinter Cell, Tongs, the Splinter Cell, I think it was Pandora Tomorrow or Chaos Theory. I can't remember exactly what. It was the best co-op you've ever seen because the original Splinter Cells had so many different moves that they ended up taking out, like hanging from pipes upside down and snapping necks and doing all cool shit like that. But the co-op had a feature where you couldn't talk too loud in the microphone or the enemies would hear. It was very cool. All right, well, I might give I think it's my turn this week to give a recap of what we did, which wasn't much, really. I think the main points were we're trying to find the drug trafficking ring in this game. Kim is still away, so we can't really do anything with him. We found our way to the roof of the Whirling in Rags, where the lady is. She ended up being the victim to the domestic violence from the dude that ended up being shot and hanged. But we don't want to speak to her yet until Kim is back, because he is a little bit better at conversing with people, especially women in this case, I would say, even though we did use a pickup line on her at the very start and we rolled a success, which was glorious. But yeah, now I think we're just trying to find that drug trafficking ring. We're going to speak to all the truck drivers. We had a huge conversation with the dude that's peddling the sunglasses, which I've already spoken to Michael about, that I cannot stand at all. And hopefully we don't have to speak to him much longer. I'm going to continue and we'll get in. Alright, so I think it was mentioned that there's 3 dudes we need to speak to. The racist guy, which is right here. Then there is old mate, which I don't actually mind. This guy here. And then the peddler, which I don't want anything to do with.
Yeah, did we exhaust? We were supposed to guess something with him, but didn't we exhaust everything?
What's up?
The thing is with this game, there could be options of dialogue that we didn't exhaust under exhausted dialogue, if that makes sense. Like if I were to click on got any smokes on you, there could be something new to say, so it's really hard to see straight off whether there is. And we'll start this. Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Speaking of striking, I got more information because, I talked about it's weird that those guys, Star Trek actors, had to stop their podcasts for the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Yep.
I got it because they had a bunch of people on to talk about it. And I got excited because it was Armin Zimmerman, who's plays Quark. As one of the guys, he was apparently a former, one of the directors. But had this lady on as the current director that was talking most of the time, which was a bit disappointing because a character in Star Trek is kind of a dumbass, so it was hard to take her seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I figured out that, because they elaborated, I think it's the podcast had to stop because it was initially got weirded because they said the guy that plays Quark interjected at one stage because he goes, I want to make sure people know the actors that aren't crossing the picket line because it's just TV and movies only.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who does video game voices, anyone who goes to cons, they're allowed to still. They're allowed to do video game voices or voiceovers for anything, as long as it's not TV and movies. So if you see them active, don't think negatively of, don't think of them as crossing the picket line. They're okay to do it. And for some reason, even though it's TV, soaps are excluded, so they must be their own contract or something. That was weird. But I got more confused because wait, how can you not do a podcast? And then I realized because they mentioned it's about promoting TV shows. They don't want, while there's a dispute, they don't want any of the properties that are under the contract stuff to be promoted at all. So it's okay, that actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing I was confused about before made a bit more sense.
Cool. All right, Michael says we need to speak to Grace and flag something. We can do that after this for sure. Oh, you've broken it, Songs, as usual. I wonder why it's only you.
And that was another Steve bat.
That was indeed. To activate the quest properly? Okay, well we'll exhaust this and then hopefully that trigger something with these guys. What's the union demanding?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
What do you think the company wants?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
That's right, we did discover that old mate that has the death chair wants to keep the strikes going as long as possible because they can get potentially launder money and get paid organized crime style.
I think it's organized crime was to fund the strike and make sure that workers are fed even when they're not working.
Yeah.
It's a way to extend it.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side.
That's weird because the strike is blocking the drugs from exiting or entering think he's going to pick him up. It's just weird that the strike's actually stopping the means that they're using to fund themselves.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Cam, your nurse. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
It's really weird that he says us lorry drivers because he has like a North American accent. Just, yeah. Not you?
Not my thing. Chasing transient
Lorry
pleasures
drivers
is a
is
drag
also-
these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
It's also weird because I initially thought it was weird because like usually you only see words like lorry used in a really British production, whereas this one, regardless of, it's sort of like a mismatch of everything, but it's definitely not British per se. Like it's not centered on British actors or anything. And then lorry is also very specific to Britain. Like it's not like a Commonwealth thing because we don't call them that. So it's very strong Britishism in this non-British game.
Yeah, we just call them trucks, but then America calls trucks like pickup trucks, like Utes trucks. So I don't know. Everyone doesn't. We have to finalize, unionize, and come up with one term.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
That's all for now. All right, let's go speak to.
We haven't put any points in electrochemistry, have we?
No, and I don't plan to
Because that's
either.
a fucking mistake if we did.
Let's have a look at our old points. What do we got? What is our electrochemistry at by default? At 4. 4's pretty good. Like it's almost middle of the road.
I guess that's because it's in a grouping where we put stuff in.
I do love that our perception is so high and our inland empire. And visual calculus, I want that to be high as well because I like the idea of learning crime scenes. It's a great narrative that we're so great at our job but so shit at being a human being. Visual calculus is at 11. Wow.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it.
Good luck.
So
It's
tracks the
only kept
response.
in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own. I'm afraid the Emergencies Act was put in place by the same coalition government that leases the RCM the right to police East Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator.
Oh, so she's
In
that person.
practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Okay, so old mate that we just spoke to said that there was a person that was meant to be in the middle, and it is Joyce. How are all these talks going?
They're not.
Oh.
That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, but you haven't seen how
we
good
know
at
it is.
fighting him I am.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, you mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
Yeah, we
Oh.
brought that 2.2 meter behemoth down to 0.4 meters.
Oh, yeah. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
How long have you been here?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then.
Oh.
I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
What happened then?
The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
Most of them probably doesn't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200
Jesus.
workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Workers can't be kings. The king is kings.
That may well be. It's not up
Like
to
a
me to
very
decide who
childish
is king,
version.
but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
What do you think of Everett?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
That's Everett, all right.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is
And we're
anyone
on
more
his take.
venal,
Nah.
more irredeemably nepotistic,
Here we are.
then it's his
Nah,
twin brother.
we're just
You
taking
keep
money
downplaying it. Yeah, that's what
I'll
that's what
take
being
his
on the
money.
take is.
No, but I'm not going to agree with him. I'll do what I want, but I'm going to take his money anyway.
That's not how that works.
Sure it does. What's he going to do? Kill me? I remember hearing something about this Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No?
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does. And when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Oh. Oh. He could try and blackmail me, but at the end of the day, we're a trash human being, so we can't really do much. Dob you into your boss? They already know that I'm a joke.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol.
Or a mob.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
Just like the painters and dockers.
The scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Thanks, Rhetoric.
Yeah, we literally just heard that, but thanks for paraphrasing.
One more thing. You said something about the elections?
I'm glad you asked.
Ooh, XP.
There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
That's all I need. Let's change the topic.
Of course.
Tell me
How
about the
else
wild
can I
pains.
help? What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
How much money do they have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
That's it. I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time.
And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions. Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous responsibility.
I can barely put 100 real together. True. If I sell enough cans, I'll be able to bank $1 billion.
What we could do is, what's the union boss's name? Claire?
Everett Clare, yeah.
Yeah, we should try to suck Everett Claire off a little bit harder than we have been. Might give us a little bit more money.
I don't know if we did that at all.
Metaphorically, we have.
Where does Wild Pines get these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade.
Steve once
between
again
Sahara
lives up to his
and
name as the
Elysium
filth-bag pirate.
peninsulas.
Thank you, Thomas.
250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain.
I knew a suzerain in high school.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Steve, would you agree with me that apricots are the worst fruit?
They're
Or
delicious.
At least in the bottom 5?
They're not even in the low. They're pretty nice. I don't usually get them, but whenever like someone else gets them and they're available, I think they're pretty good.
It's also weird that I would say that, and I can only speak for myself, but I assume it's the same with you, that a majority of the apricots you eat are the dried apricots over the fresh fruit.
Both. I think from the supermarket I've probably gotten dried up apricots more, but like when I was living with Dad both uni and through COVID, he'd sometimes get them and I'd eat them.
They have the
They're pretty
texture of
nice.
human ears. Pretty gross.
The skin's not the best. You just have to ignore it, bite through it. It's like having an oyster.
Oh,
Ignore how disgusting it is.
but
I just
that's
say-
all it is disgusting. Once you ignore the
Well, yeah,
disgusting
oysters
bit,
are
what do you have
just
left?
nothing, yeah, oysters are just nothing but.
It's like 100% unadulterated disgust.
But it's like the start of an oyster, except what if an oyster tasted good once you got over the gross start of it?
So it's like
Especially what a
when
apricot is like.
when the oyster's like 4 inches from your face, that's where the good the good part is, and then the rest is just downhill from there. So yuck, so yuck. I've only ever had oysters once, and Ben cooked it for me. It was like a Kilpatrick. That's the one with
Okay.
bacon and Worcestershire sauce, I think.
Don't think I've ever had them unnaturally.
It just tasted like a because it was cooked, it wasn't raw. It had like the texture of a tea bag that was super salty.
But then also, like, if you've had one that Ben's cooked, it's not like you've had a proper one of like a restaurant. Like, it might be better if a restaurant takes it.
This was
I know
when
that said, like, I don't necessarily enjoy them. It's like I'll eat them, but
Ben worked at a
there's nothing-
restaurant at this point, so it wasn't just like a I'm not like having a Savoyster or something like that. He actually worked there and cooked them. So apricots are a
Okay.
laxative, lots of fiber. I could imagine that.
you just think that they probably taste better coming out than in.
What about banana chips? Do you like banana chips?
They're not bad. Not a huge fan of them though.
Yeah, I
It's a little
think
bit too much. They become a little bit too much banana-y.
dehydrated fruit in general, I would say there's kind of a little bit of a stigma because I think parents like to think that it's a replacement for candy. And when you're a little kid and you want to have like, I don't know, Skittles or something, and they give you a handful of raisins, which taste like a handful of fucking pennies, it's
Yeah.
yuck. Or
Remember that
sultanas.
time?
Yeah.
Remember that time where they were was at your parents' house
My parents'
and they were
house.
making their own dehydrated fruit? It was like,
Yeah, we had a
Taffy?
dehydrator. Yeah, it was
And
like,
then
like a
we-
roll up. Yep.
and then we're just eating it because it was delicious. And then we just got these horrible stomach aches because it all enlarged in our stomachs.
For sure.
And we just got these stomach aches, and the adults have gone, "You eat too much of it, you dickheads." And it's like nothing you can do. You just gotta wait for it to pass.
Yeah, that's true. Now sultanas are shit house, especially the ones that have like the little stalk still attached. Like, there's probably like one in a box that has like a bit of the wood. Currants though, love currants. What does a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? That's quite an endeavor indeed.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a
That's
system
not a
means
well-designed
thousands
system, then.
lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
Too big to
With your
fail.
help,
Is that what you're saying?
hopefully, says her warm tone.
Quickly have a look at this. What was this thought that we got? I guess we won't know until we've unlocked some more. It seems... Holy crap, there is a lot of thoughts that we could potentially do. And a whole 6 more diamonds left. So maybe we shouldn't immediately... It doesn't tell us what the reward is though, hey? Oh.
We can't switch them out.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Oh, we can forget thoughts, maybe. Oh, so you get a skill point and you can choose to forget a thought. Interesting. Okay.
Does that mean it costs a skill point though, where we
Yeah.
could use towards advancement? Yeah, that's kind of sucks.
By the way, I've talked to Everett Clare.
You have?
I mean, sorry, Everett
And
Clare.
how did you like Mr. Clare?
You've paid us money, so we can't complain.
Oh shit, Michael's
Going
chosen a
for, yeah.
choice. Okay, which one are we doing? One? Oh, okay.
Because although I would have thought, I mean, we have to go with one, but we thought two is more appropriate just for the fact that he's paying us, so we should just be complete shills.
Oh, he said one moment. Okay. That was
Oh.
close. You really fucked up your text there, Michael. That could
I
have...
know you're lucky I wanted to put my opinion forth. Oh, it's an ad.
3. Oh, what? No! That's against everything I hold dear. God.
They might not have heard that because it's an ad.
What's that?
I think there's an ad playing. There's an ad playing on my clients. I'm assuming it's all clients.
Not sure.
Or do people can still hear it?
I don't know if ads play, because there's always an ad when you join a stream for the most part.
Yeah, I thought when the ones randomly happen, I thought that was okay. I thought that was synchronized just from seeing when it happens other places.
Okay. Huh. She nods, understandably. So we've got...
complete chills.
I'm going to give...
Complete underpay chills.
Tongs, 1 or 2. There may be a way to get out of this, potentially. I wish there was a way to turn off ads completely, but Twitch need their money.
I mean, yeah, it's basically a decision whether you could side with her later or not, but neither of them are good in terms of dialogue.
Fuck it, I'm overruling. I'm gonna say 2.
I will. I've always wanted a side-shifting class knight on my side, sir. Now, of course.
Ooh, she curtsied. Oh, yeah.
I do not
Can you trust
expect
someone who's
you to share
side-shifting?
anything Everard told you with me, not being a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like passing some information...
That's just two opposite statements.
How could I stop
I guess you said
you?
expect. That's
Are we
fine.
not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
She's flirting with us, Steve.
Intellectually speaking,
No, she's...
it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
I think it's more justifying.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Let's see. It says I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht, but I don't remember ever finding the borscht. Do you?
No, like we found out about it being alcoholic, basically a way of dispensing alcohol, but I don't think we got to the bottom of whatever that issue was.
He asked me to open a door. He asked me to deliver an envelope. Oh yeah, let's do this one.
Sounds like he has you running errands, detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
To a nameless
She doesn't-
settlement down the road.
She doesn't even know about the
yes.
bribes.
I've been meaning to go there.
With longing.
They're not bribes,
Clear
they're gifts.
and simple longing. Strange. Why does she want to go there?
I don't even remember the alcohol or the borscht. Yeah.
I remember the alcohol, I don't remember us doing anything significant.
I don't know if...
So it's like it was a way for them to keep the workers happy was they were getting this borscht, and we found out it's because it's loaded with alcohol, but I don't understand, because unless there was prohibition, there's no real significance behind that. Why can't they just get booze?
We'll see. You're quite fond of this village, aren't you?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders.
Oh, that's what I want to know about. Keep going, Joyce. More details.
Could be you, Steve.
He's probably dead by now.
Oh.
Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters.
You've been to
These
Martinez
buildings are all
before?
carbon copies of one another. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
A guy without a boat. That's disgusting.
Yeah. I think, Michael, because we have walked around investigating stuff so much without a lot of like wham bam thank you ma'am sort of escalations, I've forgotten the alcohol borscht thing. I think that's the thing with this game. It's so detailed that when you're not doing anything in particular, it just, I don't know. Sounds like you miss those times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats, like reavers. We told
Wow.
ourselves we were the worst thing to happen
Such
to
a place, Sea of
since the
Thieves.
Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
So you're sad you can't buy the place.
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
He asked me to open a door.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
No, like a real door to someone's house.
Oh my. A real door?
It had to be done. I got the information. It was useful to the case.
That's good to hear, Detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
I've got no idea, Michael.
Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask anything in return.
The union's militant wing organized the lynching?
Yes. That's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. Find the name rather amusing, honestly.
So the Hardy Boys must exist in their universe as well. That's weird.
Why is it here as well?
Yeah, the Hardy Boys are a detective squad of kids that helped out. What's that young detective girl that's in all the books that Abby Russell loves that I can't remember the name of? Oh, what is
Maybe
it?
they're the Hardy Boys grown up. They just lost their innocence.
Nancy
and now
Drew.
they're-
Yeah, Nancy Drew books in the Hardy Boys were like huge back in the, I guess, the 50s. Everett asked the union to fully cooperate.
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort this whole business out, if they haven't already.
I have a reason to believe the lynching was a cover-up.
Oh my. Very interesting. So the militant wing is protecting one of their own.
Her mind races to the conclusion that most benefits her interests. That doesn't mean she's wrong, though.
I had a thought. What if it was the girl that the dude assaulted that killed him, and then they lynched him up to cover that up so she didn't get into trouble?
Yeah, 'cause I think this is the first time I've seen that take, but then it's weird when the bullet hole is obviously, or at least I gathered that it's whoever was put the gun in the person's mouth and shot.
Yeah,
It
so what...
suggested it was already, I guess she could have, like someone in dress could still do that.
Yeah, like if he was on top of her or something like that, and she grabbed like a little pantyhose pistol or something, and then... yeah, I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
It looks like you may untie this knot yet.
There's something in
Ooh.
you that really likes the way she's looking at you just now.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, gilf time.
He didn't seem at all worried that there's a whole conflict developing.
I wouldn't have taken Everard for a saber rattler. Was he surrounded by union men he wanted to impress?
No, it was more like he wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course.
He wasn't trying to impress anyone. I think he wants things to escalate.
Or he wants you and me to believe he wants to go to war?
Maybe he wasn't manipulating. No, I'm sure I was reading it correctly.
I'll think it over, Detective. Thank you for relaying this information to me.
This gave her pause. She's pensive suddenly. Hard to say about what. Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity? She has to ask herself by now.
Everett says the Wild Pine sent mercenaries after the Union, and now one's dead.
The company did not send mercenaries after the Union. I told you in great detail about the mistakes my side made. And of course, I accept them completely. I just hope you don't share Everart's view on things. After all, as he said, one's dead now. The Pine certainly hasn't killed any of theirs.
Let's keep it that way. She means to add, but then doesn't. Look who's defensive suddenly.
That's all I've got to say.
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating.
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
No, not really. I don't believe that he's nearly found my gun at all.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then.
True.
Is there anything else?
I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk, helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
When you think of strike brew, Steve, what alcohol do you have? If someone hands you a glass of strike brew, what is it?
Just for the nature of it, we could imagine some sort of moonshine, like something a little bit rough. Did you say that was what we did? Oh no, stop the alcohol.
Nope, you misunderstand. I turned the knob like this.
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship.
Yep.
And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
I'd rather talk to you about something else.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Okay, so Michael, in this instance, there's nothing we can really talk about to trigger drugs. About this.
The lorries are still stuck at the roundabout. If the police is asking,
okay, we didn't
one
do
of the
this one.
drivers might admit to it. Yes?
I'll look into it, probe the drivers. I think the reason why we didn't do this originally is because she said that she wouldn't help us. It was like a quid pro quo thing, and we didn't really trust her at the time.
Excellent.
Okay.
According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout.
We have to talk to the
Hopefully
glasses
one of
guy.
them will know something. It
Yeah,
may
we do.
come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Will do.
Hey,
Oh. Who, me?
yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
The fuck out of here. Nah, not yet. You want to speak to the racist first? No problemo. I'll quickly save it. Do you ever have false memories, Steve? As in, like, you think that something may have happened, but then you're sort of uncertain whether it really did or not?
Like someone else's, or like there's something contradictory. I feel like I have, but
Yeah.
I can't think of an example. Do you thought of one recently?
I think to do with this game, I think I've got a memory specific to something, but I don't think I ever got this far. But something that should have happened would have already happened. So I'm kind of confused. Let me try and put it in... Michael, you've played this game a fair bit. I remember something specifically about... Evil Knieveling, if that makes any sense.
Doing a dangerous stunt and having high probability of failing. I guess that's actually pretty much like Evil Knievel.
That's all I'll say on the matter in case it's a real thing, just in case. But I remember Evil Knieveling and it hasn't happened. I don't know. Something as exciting, Steve, as spin-kicking Measurehead.
Okay. I don't think I've seen anything more
Looking for
exciting than
something,
that.
Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Oi, lorryman, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
I guess the closest we've come to an Evil Knievel thing is punching the Measurehead. Just like he punched one of the Hell's Angels.
Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Mountain Aim?
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
That's
Yeah.
not just his face. Why should make you punch him?
So you're telling me that you don't know anything about
I've
drugs?
just realised what he looks like.
What do you mean what he looks
Remember
like?
him? Remember in Men in Black? I think he's reminding me of something. I just realised what it is. Remember in Men in Black? There's the guy played by the guy that plays Monk, the detective, and he's got a store, and Tommy Lee Jones keeps blowing his head off, and his head sort of grows back into place. He
So-
looks like the head when it's about 3/4 the way done.
That's a good take. That's one of my downfalls, I guess. I can't really... I remember basic things in movies. Like, I remember what you're saying, but if you hadn't have sort of triggered that, I wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about. But I think I know what you mean, yeah. Tony Shalhoub's great.
I haven't actually watched Monk, but he's also good in Galaxy Quest.
He's in that show Lisa watches. What's it called? Mrs. Maisel and her 5 daughters or something? Something like that? Can't remember what it's called. I think, Tongs, you watch it too, don't you? That's the one, yep. So you're telling me you don't know anything about drug smuggling?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Then what are you still hanging around for? Most people have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open. You happen to know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Serves him right.
It's a fucking travesty is what it is.
If it's not you, who's running drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran.
Oh,
His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Wait, the street vendor south of here is a lorry driver?
Of course he's a lorry driver. What? He tell you he's just some simple businessman or some shit? He's selling his employer stuff after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, alright? 100%.
Oh man, I wish we could take out this guy like we did Measurehead. Guess I need to pay him a visit.
Guess so.
Speak to you later.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Ah, shut up you. So, Zilang, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbour.
Michael's picked something.
Oh, shit. That's not exclamation mark Arnold. What are you doing? I'm super into drugs.
That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person.
Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers.
We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbour. He or she is in this traffic jam.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
Stop squirming. What do you know about this drug operation?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
Wait, what crowd?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd.
You're wasting my time. Tell me who the fuck is transporting the drugs here.
Shush, please. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please.
Hey,
don't
Saku.
get me
How's it
into
going?
this mess. I
Saku!
spent 15 years
Howdy.
working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
If you don't want to get into this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on.
It's a she, okay?
Oh,
The other drivers call her the lady driver.
oh.
You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Is she the old lady that keeps smiling at us and not saying anything? And a good morning to you. Oh yeah, this. Is the old lady back there?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
It could be. She was strange.
She was strange.
He's not ruling her out.
Who are these other drivers who talk?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now?
Okay, we're cool
I
now.
really want us to be cool now. All right. Very cool. Let's cap this off with a purchase. A pair of funky sunglasses, detective? You deserve it. And I deserve it too. Don't you think?
And we never have to speak to him again. How's things, Psycho? What have you been up to? Have a chat with old mate.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
I heard one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
Ah. I don't mean to pry. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Let's think about this. Why do you want... Which one, Steve? 1 or 2?
I was saying between 1 and 2. 2 goes straight to the point, but 1 is also just general probing. We'll find out something else, even if it's not that. Say 1.
1?
Man, I was hoping she'd catch a break.
Oh.
All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some mastermind evildoer. And I don't know where she is.
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
Do you think she's got our gun? Maybe. Oh, no worries. What color is her hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
Who is this person? What is her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. Now I see why.
Hey.
Again, not a lie as far as you can tell.
When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
I can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
Then it's okay for her to deal drugs.
Well, we don't know that for sure just yet, but yeah. You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That
The
young
shin-
person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
It's not snitching, just a few questions.
It's snitching, man. I know what it is.
I was told everyone's afraid of her and you're not.
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one.
The raceman.
The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances, and he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Oh shit, I like Tommy though, that's the thing.
Like this guy?
Yeah. He's
Is
way
he-
better than the other guys.
I mean, he's not a piece of shit, but he's not necessarily... Well, a
Him-
cop, man. It's
I
not
mean-
about personal relationships. It's about
He may be my
getting to the
favorite
bottom of
character
everything.
in the game so far. Loon is in the house. How you doing, Loons? Long time.
It's like you all want to have seen Broadchurch.
Nah.
It's like the lecture in that he gives where it's like, oh God, I gotta remember it. It's like, Miller, you've got to not think of these as people. Like, I know you're in a small town, but you're not got to not think of these as people. You got to get to the bottom of it. Anyone's capable of this, of murder. Can't do the strong accent, but I just remember that it's something along those lines of like, if you're a cop, you've got to forget personal relationships and just get to the bottom of what you need to.
Young Ardwood's in the house too. Kuno is my favorite. Pfft, no.
Yeah, it was. It's like, for a TV series that's really not in my genre, I thought it was fantastic.
Broadchurch
Yeah.
sounds like what I imagine a like absolutely fabulous with no comedy would be. Am I far off?
I mean, no, there's no. I don't remember there being any funny bits.
I have zero
At all.
context of what it is, so that's just what my mind brings up.
It's like so Broadchurch is a murder investigation, but instead of it being episodic, each season is basically goes in depth into. I guess it's not always murder, but some sort of investigation, and it's more. It really concentrates on the police procedures and the things that happen when a murder happens in like small town. Also, there's no like Sherlock Holmes style get everyone together while you go about your deductions. There's actually something where like I wouldn't even know what a cop would say in a situation where they go to the family, but I just remember the thing he says, it's like that would be perfectly how it would happen where like it's gone ages without someone necessarily being caught, and it's not spoiling, but at one stage he goes to the family and they're like, oh, because they're sick and tired of everything, and he goes, we've arrested someone for the murder of da-da-da. Like, doesn't say the person did it, just says they arrested him, and there's this moment of where that's translated in their heads as they know who did it. It's like, yeah, it's just perfect. Everything seems perfectly realistic, but it's also, the opposite of comedy, because it's just very dark and depressing.
Well, Loons, if you can't sleep, I'm sure my soothing voice will put you to sleep. Really like another show called Marcella. I've never heard of it. All right, Steve, what are we doing? Are we forcing Tommy then? I mean, I like Tommy, but if that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be cops. Come on. I know we're not cops for most of this game, but sometimes we've got to be cops.
Fair enough. All right, here we go.
And he hasn't paid us money, so...
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
No! I am a different kind of cop, Tommy. I am. I swear.
This is us getting to the truth. This is us... Doesn't matter who we break, we have to get to the truth.
You're brutal, Steve.
The realization that you've used his friendliness and goodwill for your own ends.
Not for our own ends, for the ends of justice.
My heart has cracked.
We're
Poor
not
Tommy.
benefiting from this at all. We're getting to the bottom of a fucking murder and drug trafficking and a whole bunch of shit.
But he's such a nice guy. Where is the lady driver?
Here.
Oh. Gives me a...
Well, Laurie's still here.
Oh, sweet.
Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
I'm sorry I had to do this.
I bet you are.
Thank you.
And he's sorry he couldn't be what he wants to be. A good person. His last line, his revenge on the world.
Thank you. I'll go to the cabin then. Ah, Loons has redeemed top 3 games we've played on midweek point and click. That's a good question. Monkey Island 1. The latest Monkey Island, Return to Monkey Island, was great fun as well. Broken Sword was also a whole bunch of fun too. I think there was a lot to be had there. I'm going to ask the same question to Steve though as well.
The first one that stood out was the Return to Monkey Island. That's the newest one, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I really like that one. I'll probably avoid... I mean, there's probably some of the old point and clicks that I played, like it's hard to judge them because they are just classics. So I don't want to necessarily fill the other 2 slots with basically Full Throttle, Secret of Monkey Island 1.
I forgot about Full Throttle.
Yeah, I like actually looked at and the Dig, like, but I can't
Dig.
pick those because it's like those are kind of classics. But outside those, thought Eliza was really neat.
Yeah. Oh, Loons, you ask a hard question because they've all been pretty good in their own way. Everything's had their unique sort of ness, a je ne sais
Yeah,
quoi,
that one's-
as they say.
That might be it's hard to pick between Telling Lies and Simulacra.
And there's also Kathy
Simulacra's-
Rain.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that I like, but they don't hit that top list things. Like Simulacra and Telling Lies were unique. Telling Lies is ruined slightly by the fact that it had that weird scripting issue we had.
Bullshit at the end, yeah. That
Yeah.
was... I define like Book of Unwritten Tales. See, that's a good one too. It's like trying to pick your children. Your favorite
Yeah, but
children.
even then, down in your heart, you know which one's your favorite. Even if you say you love them both equally.
How long have we been doing midweek point and click? Yeah, I guess around the same time that you've known us, yeah.
This is probably, sometime during COVID, I guess. The lockdowns.
Yeah, probably also would have started before I became affiliate as well. If I could turn back time, I would have loved to have backed up all the games we played, but I guess I didn't know how to do it back then or something. We do it now, so if you ever wanted to catch up on a midweek point and click, my YouTube channel has the playlists for all the games we've played since Book of Unwritten Tales was the full playthrough of that is the first game that we added. Oh, look at that. 25 months ago. Jesus. Time flies.
This screen found A to Z Contemporary is
Yeah, I've
parked
forgotten a
in the
couple of them.
shadow of the ruins looming.
Which one was
overhead.
Lost in Play
I'd
again?
seen better days.
Lost in Play is the one where we did all those puzzles along the way. It's like the boy and the girl. It was really good.
Yeah, okay, that one was really good.
Yeah. Ardenwood, fine. Thank you so much.
Hello, Baltimore.
That's River Point.
It looks like someone subscribed.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Gonna give them a face waterfall of blood.
You know, that's probably perfect for you as well. If you're having a hard time sleep, Loons, like if we're not streaming, if it's on a day that you've got nothing to watch, check out the old midweek point and clicks. They're all great in their own way. I mean, obviously we go on tangents and talk about shit a lot, but it's good stuff.
This is the one the man pointed to. His friend's lorry.
Okay, let's have a peek.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of the seat and 2 steering levers.
I love in this world that there's no steering wheel, it's all levers.
Posters cover the small windows in the back. You can't make out what's on them. It feels
you're
like you're
riding
peeking
or
into
driving like a
someone's
tank.
home residence.
Mm.
Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Let's try the door handle.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Let's try the key.
You push the key into the lock
Oh,
and
yeah.
turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just... The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Okay. Let's admire the posters.
These are movie posters. featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century.
Did you guys ever have, like, you go to the, like, Blockbuster or the video store, whatever you call it, and get the free posters, like the movie posters for movies that have long gone? They would sort of roll them up and they were free to take. Did you ever take any
never.
posters? And did you ever put them up? And if so, what were they?
I've never seen that. Like, I've never seen the posters. I didn't even think you could ask for them, but that makes sense.
Yeah, they just left them there for people to take.
One movie poster I got once was like at uni, like once a year. They would have, must be some company goes through that has just shitloads of posters, and they must be on like a circuit, and they would sometimes set up, and it'd be like a whole hall where they've just put a whole bunch of posters. And I got a poster I really liked of Akira. So it was like top down of Kaneda walking up to the bike.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
really...
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that image before.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is really neat poster, and it's got like the Akira in there, like the way the title comes up in the movie on the bottom. Like, just sort of both a movie I liked, but also tastefully done. And yeah, so I got that once and put it up.
Yeah. I had...
apart from that,
apart
it's
from
not the same as the choiring, but I haven't hung it up since moving to the new place, but I've got a movie poster that's framed. It's weird because I've seen framed movie posters at other people's places, and I couldn't find how to do it. And my dad ended up just building a frame himself. But it's a poster of Tron Legacy, and it's signed by Bruce Boxleitner.
Hey,
it was the
look at
original
that.
Tron.
That's cool. I've got the last poster I remember. I had a whole, like, at one stage I was trying to fill up my entire, like when I was a teenager, probably, I don't know, 15 or something. I was trying to fill up my entire bedroom with movie posters, just as like almost like a wallpaper.
Oh yeah.
But the only one I can remember was Rocky. Not to say that I went into the movie store when Rocky first came out and I got that, but I think maybe a re-release or something, and there was a movie poster at, like, what was it called? Video Easy, I think, was the one.
Yeah, that was one of the rental places.
I think that's where I got it from.
So it's the holding the fist in the air at the top of where the stairs in Philly are called.
It's that scene, but all there is, it's him with his fist in the air, but it's black and white, and you only see his body, and it just says Rocky.
Just from the back? Oh, just from the body, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm picturing black and white, but from the back when he's at the top of the steps.
Yeah.
But I think I know the one you're probably talking about.
I also had... what's that movie? I've never even seen the movie. It has Bruce Willis and... Is it Matt Perry? No, what's his name? What's the guy from Friends that plays Chandler?
Matthew Perry is the one that does the odd talking.
I think A Whole 9 Yards or something. I think that's what the movie was
called. Yeah, that rings a bell. Can't remember if I've actually seen it though. I'm getting mixed up with that. There's one movie that generally wasn't funny. The one funny joke was the pissing blood comment of a comedy that's really average. But I don't think that was Whole 9 Yards. I'm getting them all mixed up. At one stage, his career gets all mixed up.
All right, let's change the question. Let's flip it around. If you could have any movie poster, what would it be? What would be the one you'd put up on your wall?
Well, it's hard to say, just because I'm not the type to do that. I've got the Tron one, just because it's got the signature and it was from a night where I met him. Can't say I met him. I was in his presence personally. That was a funny night because the co-workers randomly said, I don't know why they necessarily invited me because it wasn't like I was that social, but they invited me they'd gotten tickets to see the IMAX version of Tron Legacy, and Bruce Boxleitner was going to be there. And I got excited because they just wanted to see the movie on the big screen. They didn't care about the poster or the dude, but I forgot, he's fantastic. He was the captain in Babylon 5 and original Tron, and he's absolutely fantastic. And so it was one of those things where they came to me, but then I was the only one excited to meet him. And we walked into the thing, and they thought it was just going to be no one else was going to show up for this. So they said, it's just going to be us three and Bruce, isn't it? And they're all the way walking there, they're going, Steve, you better have some good fucking questions. Because it's just going to be 20 minutes of us sitting there awkwardly otherwise. And sure enough, it was like tons of people, and they split us up into groups. And we barely had any time with him.
Yeah.
I didn't speak to him personally, and then there was a Q&A, but I didn't sit there, and the other two got pissed because the Q&A went like twice as long as it, because it's one of those things where the questions are flowing and they just kept it going. And the other two were pissed because they just wanted the movie to start. They didn't care about what he had to say. And I'm going,
Yeah.
and I was the only one giving attention. But yeah, that was kind of, but yeah, I kind of think just because if there was a poster, it's so easy to get that if there's a poster like that, I'll probably just get it if there was one I really wanted.
Mhm. Mine would just
But maybe
be
keep going, and I'll kind of think of the most iconic one, I guess.
Mine would just be any of the old Arnie films like Total Recall, Predator, you know, Terminator 2, Terminator, whatever, those kind of cool ones.
Yeah, I think
Not
it's...
to say that I'd put them up because I don't have any. See, we've been in our house. We built our house nearly 6 years ago, and we have no paintings or pictures up. We say each weekend we're going to put them all up. We've got them. We just haven't put them up on the wall. And we say every time we're going to do it, and we never do it.
I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Total Recall one is the only one I'd really put up.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, like a lot of his movies are iconic, but I think that might be the best, just a generally good poster without without being specific to the movie.
All right, let's bust open this cabin.
One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
What is an ingenue?
One I thought of, I don't think it's necessarily the best, but it's probably similar to Total Recall in terms of how it looks, would be Stargate. Because I think that just has the simple title and the pyramid and the
with a hint of
sort of portal of light
wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
Stop and wonder, what is this smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably granate number 5.
Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly.
Enough of the posters.
The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Pull out the toolbox. Oh, what if there's a more better pry bar?
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
Ulan frequency. That's not the remember when we were in the old like above the bookstore there was that thing we could speak to the lady, the support for that game? What's it called?
Which one was this?
You know, like there's like these little modules that we could find and we can connect it into a machine, and there was a lady that we spoke to on the other end of a support line kind of thing.
I don't remember that.
It was a long time ago, I guess. Let me find, where is this? I don't know if that worked. Let me press it again.
Crowbar to the face.
Maybe that worked, who knows?
These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
Push in the pull-out toolbox.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Posters, a radio, dust on the windows.
Let's peel off the cover of the passenger seat.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Fold open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the mass of brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does the road lead?
To Kuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Fold open the second map.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history.
Look at the third map.
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
The smugglers have infiltrated the motor tract.
The cluttered cabin of the abandoned lorry offers no reply. If only Lieutenant Kitsuragi were here to help you piece together the evidence.
Turn the stack of papers.
You stuff the maps back under the seat cover. Better not to leave traces of you being here yet. The movie stars look silently by.
Let's check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper would also rub off the pattern of the driver's sole.
Matching one of the footprints found from the crime scene, which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
And if she's delivering drugs...
And we knew that that missing member of their party was a woman, wasn't it?
Yes, we did.
Or do we suspect it, or we know it? Do we know it? We knew it.
Well, the fact that both of us had that same instinct that it was a woman, then maybe it did tell us.
Yeah, but that might have been because we were talking about... I think we had an idea of who it was. Maybe wasn't a lawyer, or maybe someone else. Oh, the victim, the one that was assaulted or harassed by the dude. We might have assumed it just because we both were entertaining that might have been the person.
Wait, the missing eighth Hardy?
Looks like it, yes.
She's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful. Yeah.
You've identified the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys had anything to do with the drug trade?
Just looking through posters, just see if there's inspiration for any. And it looks like it might be Polish only, but there's a Rocky 1 poster where it's got like two boxing gloves, but they're together so they make the shape of a heart.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I should just post it.
The entire union might be involved. Oh, no, that one's the silly one. 4. This would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
You should probably still talk to them, see what they've got to say for themselves. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. But there's something strange about the passenger seat. The radio transmitter sits on the center console, and the pull-out toolbox lies hidden under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Examine the radio.
Looks like
It's got
the
weird padding, but
frequency
that's the
dial is
Akira one I
absent.
talked about.
It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver. The peculiar frequency tableau indicates that at least 128 stations have been saved on this radio.
Is there anything I can do with the radio?
Not without the dial key, no.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
Unclear. For contacting an entire fleet of lorries, for example. This must be the nerve center of a well-organized operation.
Oh, that's good. So the lorry said unclear, but our logic, because of our logic being good, that's great. Around the cabin.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat. You close the rusty old lorry door. Your job here is done.
Sweet. Okay, Loons, if you're still awake, it's time for you to choose where we put our point to level up. I'll give you a few moments to respond if you're still here. Otherwise, back up. Ardwood, fine. You can choose the next point if Loons is unavailable. For context, we've been leveling up our visual calculus, our inline empire, and our perception. But what you choose is entirely up to you, where this whole playthrough is a stream playthrough, not just a Steve and me playthrough. Also, if you don't specifically want to put a point in here, what you can do is you can put a point into one of these diamonds, and what that diamond will do is unlock a thought process for us where we can actually add thoughts. Don't listen to Michael at all. We're not doing electrochemistry. However, if you wanted to do that, really, we could put it in there, but Steve and I aren't using anything in that. Michael basically just wants us to do drugs and drink gin constantly. Pain threshold. Okay, where's that? Pain threshold? Alright, here we go. Nice. Thank you very much for that choice. Okay, now we should probably talk to the Hardy Boys, right? To see if old mate Lady Driver... We still need that karaoke song. Verdant Tree, have you played to the point where you do sing a song? I would love to know whether you can actually hear him sing or whether it's just in text form.
I thought of a good one if someone did put a gun to my head and said you got to put up any movie poster.
Oh yeah, okay.
Any place. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a really good poster.
Alright, Titus, what do you got for us?
One lonesome clown. What a sad side. What do you want?
Speaking of Titus, Luna, you should get back onto the FFX train. Hats has been playing the shit out of it. Guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
Oh, burn.
You're right, there's no local drug trade except you.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
Order more. Someone from your chat is looking.
Thank you, Arnie.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Ooh. Okay. Which one do we choose? That is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting of poisoning your own people. Good idea. People are always going to do drugs. At least this way you have control over it. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. I know for a fact there's plenty of drugs out there. Steve, which one do you want to choose?
I think number one.
Oh, Tongs is back. How you doing?
Boo fucking who. People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Ooh, happy Easter!
Thank you, Psychic.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
The 8th Hardy. The one who's missing. She runs the thing, right?
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
What?
So do we need to have shoes on his hands to do that?
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
Oh.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him.
Ooh.
It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
Guess not. Wow, okay, I thought that was going to go somewhere, but it didn't really. We could go and talk to our old gal, Joyce. Okay, it's 4:12, so tonight we have to go speak to the dude in his apartment as well at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
You're back.
Did you do that last
Good.
time? No.
What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
What's up?
So we didn't talk to him yesterday?
No, we couldn't. Because it said that we had to come back tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Okay.
I could use a coat like that. The rain is
Oh,
freezing.
yeah. Yep.
Sadly,
Was
I
it just
made
9
this
p.m.
one
or was it
myself.
tomorrow at 9
It's
p.m.?
hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy.
For you Americans out there, we've got this jacket in Australia, or a coat in Australia called a Dryzerbone, which is what this is kind of like. Dryzerbone is quick for dry as a bone. Mainly country people wear them.
What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
You've never heard that expression, dry as a bone?
Yeah, I've heard it all constantly.
Yeah. I spoke to the lorryman about the at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Ooh, another skill point. Oh, okay. Wait, what exactly are these eyes? Where are these eyes
Doesn't really
located?
matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter.
I just realized the other two things we need to do is we need to call back the police, but we can't do that because Kim's got the car. But the other thing is to collect our Dungeons and Dragon dice.
Yeah,
In any case,
because
it's
she's
a
making them
relief to
for
know
us.
someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
We turned up quite a few interesting things.
Ah, good to hear. I wouldn't want to pry into a confidential police matter, but in the event you'd like to share more, I would like to know who it was.
It's a she, by the way.
Clever. Few suspect a woman in this sort of skullduggery. Good move on their part.
Seems the architect of the operation has gone missing, an abandoned lorry by the statue.
A runaway. Good work. This is a tangible lead towards solving the whole mystery.
She's a fan of vintage movie stars. The inside of the cab was plastered with posters.
We contain multitudes, do we not? It might not be pertinent to her profession, but who knows? It may help you find her yet.
I found something about ULAN frequencies.
High-intensity microwave frequencies. They're used for navigational purposes, to compress the inter-eastlery space. They may use it to communicate with incoming freighters.
Let's be honest, you have no idea what that meant. Inter-eastlery microwave compression. Moving on.
That is so true. Came upon some hidden maps illustrating a range of smuggling network.
First-rate find. That should tell you all you need to know about their network, I would imagine.
Yes, they're spread all over Jamrock and beyond. I couldn't even identify the exact points.
So this goes beyond Jamrock. At least you now understand the gravity of the situation, and those maps should prove very valuable indeed.
I saw a really advanced radio system with a lot of stations saved.
That speaks of the vastness and sophistication of the operation. Were you able to examine the radio?
Unfortunately, the dial knob was missing. The radio itself was inoperable.
Sensible for her to disable access to such essential information.
Told you what I found, now it's your turn.
I appreciate you placing your trust in me. Thank you again for looking into this matter. You have my gratitude, and the gratitude of Wild Pines Group. Now, per our original agreement, it's time for me to share company secrets with you.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Jesus, that's a description, isn't it? I already heard about the connection between lynching and strike, but I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Was that who the lynched dude was?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Lapse of faith? You
They were
what?
dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
When you say ceramic armor, do you mean like my boots?
Boots we're wearing.
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a
Ooh.
local woman
Yeah.
while he was drunk and
Okay, so that
separated
checks
from
out.
his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Okay, we haven't seen those two guys yet.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Holy shit, they're just gonna kill the Hardy Boys?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Maybe the investigations can team up, you know, share resources and intelligence.
Surely you're joking.
Ah, don't call me
These
Shirley.
people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
That's cool.
They would have to project strength and power. The Union has over 2,000 men.
Let's turn this into a Eureka stockade.
The numbers are against them, 1,000 to 1. It's true.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, detective? It's not pretty.
No, the bees vibrate and heat up the hornet and cook them from the inside out.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
That means that our feet are going to be bulletproof. That's good.
Yeah.
As I said, a bloodbath.
I think confrontation is inevitable.
It doesn't have to be like this. Nameless, badgeless officer of the citizens' militia. One single, concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Okay. Interesting. You said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal.
You mean
I cannot testify.
Kano?
Yeah, if it's Kuno and Kuno S, then
Yeah.
I wouldn't fucking trust them.
Yeah, what did these teenagers say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
Not the first time I've heard this. Where did the assault take place and when? Oh, really? Kuno's 10? That's even worse. Little bastard.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk. Maybe on narcotics, too.
Yeah, probably speed and gin.
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
I know the woman you're talking about. We have it under control.
Good. Then you've made progress. It's imperative
I
that
wasn't-
you move fast. The tribunal will not be patient.
Without lynched, wasn't he unfit? Like, if the other 2 soldiers are anything like him, it's not like they can't be subdued again.
Oh, I don't know. Where are the 2 remaining mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Oh yeah, authority. Thank you. I still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually.
Ooh.
When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Okay, so this is our first check. It's 83%. Should we do it? It's a red check. It cannot be retried. We're not going to get higher than 83, are we?
I technically get higher, but yeah, it is pretty high.
Logic. If we add an extra... Where's logic?
Or just our clothing, because if we've got any negatives or a positive we're not wearing,
I'm
to
kind
make it a bit better.
I'm okay. This is... I'm going to take this point. I'm going to take this point and I'm going to apply one to logic. Just because I haven't put a point in... yeah, but I kind of want to know where they are. That'd be good. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Mama needs a new pair of boots.
One is obviously the scout leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Okay, yeah, that's true. He did seem a bit off.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Oh, so logic is like Ethan Hunt in the first Mission Impossible. It's like he learns there's an IMF team, another IMF team, and he's like, oh, it's the person by the waiter, 2 o'clock from Hannah, and yeah, after the fact, identifies all these agents.
What's your I'd love to know everybody's favorite Mission Impossible movie. And what's the worst? Favorite and worst. I'll go first. The worst is Mission Impossible 2 that's in Sydney. It's fucking awful. Though,
That's one of my, not the favorite, but it's one of my favorites. Actually, I think I'm the only one that likes that movie.
It's really bad. Mission Impossible 3 is really good.
That's the one I think is garbage. I haven't seen any of the other Mission Impossibles because of that one.
Oh no, they're good. Yeah, they're all good times except for number 2, I'd say. A lot of people love not the most recent one, but the one before that. Fallout was it called? I think. So that's funny, Michael, because I love Tom Cruise movies. I think they are fantastic. And him personally, I don't know him personally, and I know he's gone through a few Scientology interviews and stuff, which is real weird, but I don't know, lately he just seems to be kind of like a nice dude. As long as he's not talking about his religion, he seems to be okay.
But even then, like personally, what's the thing, like, the Scientology thing is weird, like, not just the interviews, but this whole setup of the gold base or gold ranch and all the weird Scientology stuff is very icky. That said, I can divorce that from, I just like watching him in movies. I think he's actually very talented, and
yeah.
And then also on the scale of like fucking horrifying Hollywood people, as horrible as as bad as the Scientology thing is, it's still not up there with fucking sexually assaulting people and doing shit like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Are we reading this out to her? Let's see.
That may be so.
Oh, okay.
I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
It's good we're getting XP for each decision.
The situation at the gates is a powder keg. She says she wants to avert catastrophe, but that's where she draws the line. I call bullshit.
Thanks, Frederick. One is probably in the building overlooking the roundabout.
Would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Okay. I have another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
The colonel that was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. but I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely.
Oh, cool.
His service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Right, so DePaul would be the one in the building overlooking because obviously she's a woman.
Yeah.
This Lely, anything else? Nationality? How old did you say he is?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accents?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
What, you mean you don't know what's going on?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
Jumping on Oprah's couch is peak weird? Absolutely. Where he declared his love for Katie Holmes?
Yeah, that's... I know that's one of those weird things where, like, someone being over enthusiastic for some reason is weird, but if you watch the documentary on, like, Going Clear, I think it's called, I think it's the one I sent you the link to, that one, yeah, when you see some of the stuff in that. As much as the gold base, and he has a whole staff where everyone has to smile to him. There's a few other ones, but it's hard to differentiate fact from fiction because even the ex-Scientologists, like, even the stories they tell, it's like, you're bullshit artists in Scientology. How would you, like, you could just be doing the same shit you did in the cults, even when you're outside the cults and turning against them.
Yep.
So all the stories of, like, them manipulating a girl to break up with her boyfriend so that she could date, what's his name, Tom Cruise, all that's very creepy, but then that's the kind of shitty stories that Scientologists would tell about other people to discredit them. So then, yeah, I'm assuming that's just the gun turned against Scientology itself.
5 days.
But then some of the setups, yeah, it's really
maybe
creepy.
sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
What can you tell me about the Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
This might be my ignorance, but what would a fourth world country be?
Don't know, because I've never heard that term.
Yeah, or maybe it's something like for this
Maybe it's
game,
her
this
just
universe.
saying and worse. Yeah, or maybe it's her just saying and worse, sort of way of saying that.
Anything else you can tell me?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Probably.
Yes.
Might as well get the ball
your
rolling
condition.
soon then.
The International Collaborative Police maintains a database for these sorts of things. Perhaps you
That's
should
the
consult
Interpol.
it. It was just a suggestion.
I would love to, but I don't have a car anymore. Could you...
Yeah, we'll talk to tomorrow.
Yeah. Could you contact the company, tell them to call it off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
That's enough.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news.
Oh.
If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Now can you tell me about these tattoos?
Of course.
Yes!
Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman.
Let's stay quiet and observe her
Her
expression.
mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Places, like vias on a microcircuit.
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
It's like the, you know the sailor tattoo? Like they usually put like a swallow on their forearm.
Well, I don't know what it means, but
It's meant to represent them being free and that they've done particular voyages.
okay.
But then people just started getting that tattoo when they haven't, and it's like the faux pas thing. Because you haven't earned it, in a sense.
Yeah.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption
Yeah, it is.
to be reeled back in by.
Stranded, how you
The
doing?
silver cord, they would call it.
You mind giving Stranded a shout out, Steve?
Where is he now?
Exclamation point? SO?
Yes, and then space the name. I think that's it. It's been a while. Oh yeah, give it to Michael as well. If he's good. There we go. Stranded's been playing Resident Evil 1 remake. Been great to watch.
Other typewriter room.
See if it plays first. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Treasure box. That sounds interesting. But I don't have the stuff I need to put in the box to open it. Like I need to find.
Oh, the
that
mouse
little
cursor's over your
little
thing again.
To open it. I see what I do appreciate.
Ah, that game. Remember that, Michael, when we went through that? That was good times. Good times.
I've still got to play that game.
You've never played Resident Evil 1 remake?
No, I wanted to play the original again before I played the remake, and then got stuck on that. I can never finish that game.
Would be a good stream game, Steve. I'd watch you play
Yeah,
through that.
I could do the Prince of Persia rules where I have to start from the start each time, and I've only got an hour to get through it.
An hour to get through Resident Evil 1? If you
Yeah.
do it in 3, you
With
get
enough
a
practice.
rocket launcher. Alright, let's look at the little boy here. Ah, the old Zelda. Lisa's still playing this game. I've
even
been
heading the right
deliberately not
way?
watching her play it, but I walked past and there was some sort
yeah,
of storm
okay.
going
Yeah,
on
this
where
is
she
where I
was
was supposed to go.
flying at night time in little tornadoes.
You should be able to go back and clip it, Chris.
Briggsy! Welcome in! Bud, how you been? I've not seen you in a long time. Steve,
That is from the past.
better throw Briggsy a shout out. How do you make shout out clip? Scene.gg is the website, Stranded. You just add a browser source to it. You can also do it for raids. So if you raid somebody, someone raids you, it plays a clip from them as well. There you go.
The elements bow to me.
Marvel's Midnight Suns. Everyone talks great things about this game. I never played it though.
Interrogate him?
um,
Hell no.
Yeah, a bunch of
Correct.
people in Hatter's Discord were playing it.
Where is he going? Bye.
Nice little
Bye-bye.
bug there. That's a good one. Did we miss anyone else that streams? I don't think so. I think we got everybody. But if we did miss, you call it out in chat. You say, "Oh, you forgot me." Yeah, no worries at all.
See if this works.
Oh, of course. Oh, Steve's giving himself a shout out.
This guy looks more dodge.
Never seen that done before. Nice. But of course you deserve a shout out.
Yeah. I reckon I could take him, but it's whether or not he's got mates nearby.
Do you miss it, Steve? Old Kingdom Come?
Yeah, do a bit. I think 8th. Oh, you sneaky little shits.
Oh, thanks, Briggsy. I wonder if you can shout out yourself. Steve, after you shout out Lunar Droid, try and shout out me and let's see what happens.
I think we've got away there. Oh. I've still got armor on so they can chase us.
Ooh, fatality right there.
Yeah. So like one, just the way they come out of the trees was actually impressive. So Lunar Droid 1, did that play?
It didn't play.
Or did I override it?
I think it was because the other one was playing, so give it another shot. Also, I think only mods can do the shout out. Essentially.
You get a shout out and you get a shout out.
Yeah. It's Oprah, like cars to everybody. Or bees.
I don't even know what the Hatter's talking about. Oh my god.
So, for context, Luna's got commands that if you spend 100 channel points or whatever, he has to sing for a minute of whatever he says.
I've got a friend that does that, and you tried to.
Oh, I tried to rope you in.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so great. That was so great. But he didn't want a bar of it. He says that you're a guest on his stream and you will not partake in singing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think his thing was just consent is important. I think was his line.
Would you have sung if he gave you the opportunity?
Nah, I can't sing at all. I mean, I can't.
Who's to
They
say?
sound good speaking, but
I don't know about that. Like, I think
heard
there's
me do
certain...
karaoke.
I have, but I'm not here to say that you're a bad singer. And I don't think... I don't know. There's certain things... Like, can you really say you're a good singer or a bad singer? It's kind of like saying whether you're funny or not. It's like something that other people can say, hey, that person's funny. But if you say that you're funny, then it's kind of a little bit, like...
I definitely can't do that.
Yeah. And I think singing... See, the thing is, you sound different to other people than what you hear
You
in
sort
your
of
own
know
head.
when you can't change. Like I know that I'm tone deaf, so I know that I can't change the pitch of my voice, and I can't match whatever pitch I'm supposed to. Like I can't hit notes, especially when I can't hear them, let alone change the pitch of my voice very well.
Right. Have you ever done a tone deaf sort of test? There's heaps on YouTube. I don't know whether they're valid or whatever, but
I just sort of know it. I haven't done any proper test.
yeah.
I just sort of remember learning so I used to watch Sound of Music when I was a kid because I was just like one of the VHSs that one of the parents had. But the one thing I've liked about it was the song where she teaches you how to sing. It's the do re mi, do a deer, female deer, re, a drop of golden sun, that one. Which there's that bit, but it also goes into singing to how to construct a melody out of those notes, but then also when you sing, it's one syllable. They say word, even though they mean syllable per note, and it's like, you see exactly how. But then since then, I would listen to notes played a friend of my mum's had a piano, and you'd clip, and I could never match. Like I could never see the notes. Once you go, oh yeah, it's do re mi, and that's the same as A B C D in modern notes. I could never hear the difference between them, and I sort of know that because I tried figuring out that little last secret that would unlock everything.
I've got a question for you then, Steve. Rather than, so when you hear a sound, right, any kind of sound, you're saying that you can't potentially sing that sound back. Could you potentially whistle it?
No, almost certainly not. I'm bad at whistling. Like I can barely whistle. Like if I concentrate hard enough, I can. It takes me a while to get even just a whistle out. I don't think I can change the which. I'll be more successful to actually sing closer to a note than whistle.
Yeah, I guess that's another thing. Yeah, either finding the right note on a piano or tuning a guitar, right? So, especially for those that have seen my Rocksmith streams, I constantly have to tune the bass up and down. If you weren't able to hear a note back, it'd be so hard to tune a guitar because you're playing a note and then tuning it to that note. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like I think, like, because I could roughly do that, because I can do the. It's very similar to when Vinny from Giant Bomb did the colorblind test, where he could sort of do it. There's like one of the tests he could do, but he kept dragging two colors next to each other because he could see when one of them's slightly greener than the other.
Right.
But otherwise, he would fail. It's kind of like that, where I could probably tune something to an extent, but even then, I don't think my ears have the fidelity to actually tune it to a quality that a musician would be acceptable to. Like I could sort of do that. Okay, now it's high, a little bit too high, a little bit too low. But even then, I don't think I could nail the exactness. I think that's a separate problem from tone deaf. Is I don't think I have that much fidelity.
So I would say. So I'm
The one
always
music class I did okay because you're just learning rote memorization of what to do on whatever instrument, but nothing to do with actual tone or anything like that.
For me, whistling is my absolute jam. I whistle all the fucking time, but I'm also mimicking things when I whistle. And the number one thing that I do without even realizing it is the air fryer jingle. When you turn the air fryer on and turn it off, it does like a two note jingle. I'm always whistling that back. I reckon that, I don't know about absolute pitch and relative pitch and everything like that. I would say that I would almost have absolute pitch if I had the smarts behind knowing which note that actually is. Like I'm not book smart wise, I don't know all my notes, like sheet music and stuff. I have a lot of trouble with that. If I knew that, I reckon I could replicate. I could say that car horn is an F or whatever it might be. I reckon I'd be good at doing that. It's just that I don't have the context to compare the two.
I think I heard Billy West say about tuning the instrument if you don't have a tuner. I guess you can't even do this nowadays because he said that, I forget what note it is, but like if you pick up a phone, the dial tone is like a F or a D or like whatever the note was. And in a spot, you can tune it to that.
Right. Yeah, Stranded, you're right. It's never too late. I just think that things tend to fall out of my head these days. The older I get, I can't retain information like I used to be able to do, which is difficult. I have dabbled with sort of MuseScore and things where I'm writing music, but I do that via sound and just placing notes on the sheet and just going up and down. Drum charts are a lot easier than to chart because, you know, all the kick pedals are at the bottom of the sheet music and all the hi-hats and shit are at the top. And toms are in the middle. That's a bit easier, but getting old, yeah, I'd say that. Not 21 anymore. Wow, I'm turning 21 in about a month's time, so. What about you, Stranded? Are you how's your pitch with singing and all that? Where is he now? This one is going nowhere but the morgue.
The times have changed.
What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
27. Come on, 27's still a pup. Do you remember being 27, Steve?
I guess it would have just started. Yeah, because it would have just started at the game studio.
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande,
Working on mobile
through what
phone,
I think
dumb
was
phone
Stutz
games.
Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
Ah, right. From
Okay.
choirs to belly dancing, right? For context, everyone, Stranded's got it was a 50,000 point reward to do belly dancing on your stream.
Revachol. Those
Have you-
are the two constants.
Is it just sort of ad hoc belly dancing, or have you
and
had
Revachol
classes?
in the heart.
Or have you done it?
They started the tradition of these
Professionally.
maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it. It seems like you can.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Who could
Get
tell me
to.
more?
Are you able to block out? Because I imagine that would get on my tits if I heard the same note being played over and over again. Or does it sort of become background when you're actually doing stuff?
Yeah, the same note over and over again would kill me. Misophonia is real. My gosh. Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
I need the information. Mark it down. Ask the mercs about tattoos.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
Oh, don't you worry. I will not do that, Burden Tree. It's, even things like... The misophonia gets me in my dreams, too. So, like, people have different nightmares, right? Growing up, you've got reoccurring things. Maybe there's, like, an old woman chasing you down a hallway or whatever. Mine is always when people... Like, I'll be talking to someone and they'll just turn at me and just one note will come out of their mouth. Just a prolonged, sustained note. And that is what gets me.
Like that episode of Star Trek Next Generation.
Is that a thing? I've got to skip that. That's too scary for me. Oh, man. It just initiates my fight or flight response. I just feel so much anxiety hearing it.
Yeah, I think I roughly know the episode. I forget a lot of around it, but like, yeah, Data. And I think someone's streaming and so I don't know if it's Data or one of the other characters, but they just open their mouth and there's just this high-pitched squeal, monotone squeal that comes out of their mouth.
No thanks. Yeah, that's...
I know, it's him.
absolute
Like,
bits.
the guy doing the dream, whenever he goes to speak, he just opens his mouth. But nothing but a high-pitched tone comes out.
Yeah. Hate it.
Is there
It's actually a
anything
little
else
bit
I can
creepy.
help you with?
In the actual show.
All right. Well, what we might do is we'll quickly check out the dice maker and see if our dice are ready. Oh, maybe it says in the quest log, actually. Filled Tuesday at 10. She said, what, 8 hours afterwards? Oh, I've got to do math now. It's 10:54 a.m. on Tuesday. But what day is it today? Is there a way to tell what day it is? I don't even know. Yeah, but it is Tuesday. Where do you see that? To know. I've got so many Monday things still to go.
It's just, we know it's Tuesday just because it's the second day. It also probably comes up in the where the time's shown.
Okay.
I think it has, but also we know it's the second day.
We've
Tuesday.
still got a bit of time then. Not that much time though. About 3 hours worth.
Yeah, we're getting through it.
Today's been. I know we've talked a lot just about random stuff, but we've actually got some progress, which is great. Because one awful feeling is when you're streaming a game and you're just walking around in circles and not doing anything. It's just you sort of feel
people are getting bored.
counterproductive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I guess why we burst into conversation so much. Okay, that's good to know. The current day is always at the top. Maybe I'll save it and we'll ask the dude in the center about the tattoos and see if he kills us. Hope he doesn't. This guy. Do you reckon he's wearing his ceramic armor underneath all that baggy clothes? Probably.
It could be, yeah. Well, if we go, recognize these boots?
Yeah. Look at these puppies. Point down below.
Yeah.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Okay, here goes. I think you might be able to help me decipher some tattoos.
Don't think so.
Barely glances at it.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
We once licked a whiskey stain, so bad ideas aren't a problem to us.
I'm feeling number 2, because that'll.
I was picking on you because compared to that,
Looks at it. Grey eyes, dark,
shooting a
back and
corpse,
forth.
giving a gun to a
The glossy
kid,
surface.
we've done much
His
worse.
face is unmoving.
Oh yeah. The fact that we're going to give Kuno our gun is hilarious.
You see dead flesh in colourful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in.
Yes, we did a good one. Okay. Can you tell me what the tattoo means?
What it means.
Points to the 1 star in the web of lines.
In what must have been Seminine.
I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here?
Yes.
Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush in Benital.
Clean
41.
thoughts, Steve.
Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission. He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless.
Is
There's
fucking
talk
bugs
of
and snakes
switching
for fun?
Employers.
It's weird. Oh, filth bag stranded. Question for me. Are Pringles worse here now? I haven't had a Pringle in a long time. I imagine they got smaller, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't had them in a while, so I couldn't say.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Alright, let's
Oh
do
no.
it. Don't interrupt him.
Our boy. He's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon 2 kids, breeding in the bushes by the river.
What's that?
Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding.
Yeah, I don't know. Pringles I always liked, but I'd always just like open up the tube and just pour them in my mouth. Like I would, like, they say once you pop you can't stop. It's more like I'll just shovel it in until it's gone.
I don't do that. I usually have them one by one, but the problem is the tubes are never short enough that those last few you have to then pour them out, like you said.
It's also like a monkey trap. You put your hand in to grab them and your fist gets too big and you Can't get fist out.
Yeah. Or you put them on your tongue and let it dissolve. It's got like that shape.
Or do you do the duck beak, where you get the two and you put them together and you quack like a duck?
I've never done that.
Stranded, I'm so envious of you. Japanese 7-Elevens are my jam. My gosh. Could spend hundreds upon hundreds of Australian dollars there, I'd say. Coolish, my favorite treat of all time. So good. Triangle Dorito type corn chips that were sold in triangle tubes. Kind of like a Toblerone tube.
Yeah. That's
Love
what I was thinking.
Toblerone. Do you guys have Toblerones? Like, I don't know where. I think it's like Swiss chocolate or something, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, there's that joke of like when you see one, it's like, where the fuck did, because you only ever see them in airports.
Yes, you do.
So when you see one in the wild, it's like, where the fuck did that come from?
Kuala Lumpur especially has, it's just basically a Toblerone that you land in. You hang around in the Toblerone for a bit and then you fly out of Toblerone. Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, I like them whenever I've had them. Used to not like them as a kid just because when you're small, the pieces are a bit big and they're shaped in a weird way to makes it hard to eat them. Just around bit, but then nowadays I like them.
Yeah. Oh, so good. My I had a meeting today. Not a meeting. What? Not. It was a meeting, but it was with a friend. Coffee video chat thing.
Like,
Meeting? What are they called? Like a
touching base is what the business term is, I guess.
touching base with an old friend who was also let go of the same company I used to work for, and he lives in Japan. And when I went to Japan last, I visited him and it was awesome. But since he was let go, he's actually opening up a cafe, which is awesome. I'm so happy for him. He roasts his own beans and all that. It's gonna be awesome. So next time I go to Japan, I'm gonna go visit for sure. What's a kipt? Does anyone know what that is? I hope it's not a racist term. Is it like an animal?
I'm assuming it is, but like racist within the fiction, not
Okay.
actual.
Yeah, it is in Tokyo, apparently, just on the outskirts, sort of towards Fuji, like that direction.
So I imagine it's like a derogative slur for like whatever the native population is of this place is talking about. That's also what I think is the Tikips breeding. It's that thing of where people refer to other people as animals, like in the terms you'd use for animals as a way of dehumanizing them. Like that's what he's doing.
We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nigh.
Oh, Jesus.
A little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted. Expired in the hands of Sarge Mason, the kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God, Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them.
Jesus.
Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach. There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless, odorless. It's...
No, I was somewhere else. That's just a guess.
Order more. Someone from your chat is looking.
I'm just a bouncer.
Oh, God. You're not really a scab leader, are you?
Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off. But...
Oh. Well, it didn't come close enough.
He's under orders. And orders are orders.
What, you want to choose one now? He's probably going to kill us. Alright.
You bet it was.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, now.
Free commerce! On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
You are the mercenary hired by wine pines.
Free flow of commerce!
Is there a tribunal?
Fucking bug.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio,
Oh.
cracking somewhere. An earpiece. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Oof.
Baltimore, check the chat. There has been a redemption.
Yep, you sure have.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance back on.
Okay, so he's a dirtbag. Oh, we got a thought.
The Mama Takwa.
Oh, it completed. Sweet.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very
That's
silent.
scripted, isn't it?
Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out.
Then the part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out.
Perception? That's pretty good. That's what we want. -1 encyclopedia. That's fine. Yes, please. Hell yeah. That is so... Our perception is out the roof. That's how big it is. Let's have a look. 10! With room for one more. Damn straight. That's great. Alright, let's have a look here. Speak to the assault victim. We don't want to do that until Kim's back. Get the 2 signatures for Everett. Find the murder weapon. Find the murder weapon. That's interesting. I'm guessing we can't do the ballistics analysis on the bullet because we don't have a machine to do so, which is probably the car. We can't run the number either. I can't talk to Kim. Find booze and drink it. We're not doing it. Find smokes and smoke them. We're not doing it. Track down your badge. Need to do that. Who put the trash in the... I think we almost found out who that was, right? The trash in the clothes in the trash. Ask Kuno if he knows anything about the victim's clothes. We can try. We can go speak to old mate Kuno.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk to him, but I guess to do this thing we could.
Yeah. Ask around. So we're probably going to have to speak to the other person. Search for the caller. Sing karaoke. Get a reality lowdown. Joyce is rich and willing to answer your questions. Ask her one. Okay.
It's like I'm fucking Kuno. I'm gonna Kuno this shit. The fucking clothes, you old man. Why the fuck are you talking about that?
We sure did, Stranded.
Should have that and a few homophobic slurs. That's basically Kuno.
So basically what happened is we got our gun and we tried to shoot the strap to drop the body, but we missed. And then Kuno's like, "Ha, fuck you, your shit, ah!" And then he goes, "Kuno could do better than that." And we're like, all right. And we went to hand the gun over to Kuno. And
stop this.
Kim is like, "Are you kidding me?"
What the fuck are you doing?
And we lost trust.
That was after we threw a punch at Kuno and missed and fell on our ass like a
We did.
sad person.
Completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up. Fucked it good. It was porno.
Wish I could have been here to see it.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
Pigonaut. Oh yeah, he dominated me. Boy did he. Kuno, I found your shack.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
I pushed aside the panels, Kuno.
And then what? You fucking there. You fucking Kuno's kingdom.
Sure did.
He's trying to fuck at you again, Kuno.
Oh, I found a plate covered with residue. Know anything about it?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you?
No, electrochemistry. Shut up.
I keep telling you to shut your mouth, electrochemistry.
What's with that tube of magnesium? No, Magnus alarm.
Baltimore, check the chat. There has been a redemption.
You could use some.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, whatever. You fucking need that
No, we
shit
do
to
not.
stay on top of your game.
Nope.
Kuno goes through like a
He
tube a
knows.
day, and you look like you could use a bottle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
Come on.
Isn't
Don't
that
mystify.
isn't that morale healer? Magnesium?
Think so.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely
J-Tell's in the
takes
house. How
away
you
the
doing?
hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
So this is what I do? This is one of the things that I do, yeah.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
Oof. What was with the pig head?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Cool pig head. I liked it. I got one too. This one points at your head. It's shite.
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself.
Oh.
This is weird level shit. Kuno doesn't go there.
Maybe that's the secret to Kuno. You got to shit on yourself to get through. You're up late or early? It is a bit late. It's 10 p.m. here.
Fuck your shit back to normal. What is this?
As one Barry Burton would say.
Well played. No one saw that coming.
I've heard enough of this.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
Okay. At the crime scene, you kids often play in this yard?
Right, Pig? This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it?
Wow, 4 a.m. That is early, for sure. Alright, number 3 for you, Verdant Tree. What is in the greenhouse over there?
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Hold on, the gardener used to work there?
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
Wait, what did you mean by kipped?
Look it up in the library. Kuno's not a fucking dictionary. Fucking small brain. Kuno means the gardener, alright?
Oh, I see, because they mentioned the kipped word earlier, and that was the thing I didn't know what it meant. Okay.
Racist term.
The gardener? She's not actually a gardener. Turns out she's a union fixer.
The fuck does this have to do with the Kuno? Kuno doesn't give a shit who she is.
The Kuno.
You were expecting relaying this information to him to be more rewarding.
Damn it.
Why would we? Fucking
Tell him
electrochemistry?
you found out she isn't a gardener. You know what
Why
you
the
should
fuck do we
if you
care
want to get
what he
rewarded?
thinks about it?
Drugs. Drugs are more rewarding than work.
Clear off electrochemistry.
Or alcohol, if you don't want to do drugs. Alcohol is just as rewarding, but it isn't a drug.
Not happening.
This has been going on for
No.
quite a while, hasn't it? You've been thinking about drugs and alcohol.
If
for a
anything,
long
electrochemistry's
time.
bullshit. It makes me want to do it less just to spite electrochemistry.
Exactly.
Just fucking coming up when no one fucking asked it.
Seems kind of boring now, going back to... What was this about?
Oh, yes.
Some yard? Yards aren't interesting. Only drugs are interesting. Drugs and alcohol. You feel sad now, but what can you do? Life has to go on. With a heavy sigh, you say...
And J-Tell, I also do the Rocksmith streams like Dan as well. I haven't done one in a while, though. I think it's been a little bit. Gotta get back on that.
But he's gone cold turkey now that we're in control.
Excellent. Well, that's the
We'll
thing.
do
with-
some fucking police work without drugs or alcohol.
And how good of a cop have we been since taking drugs and alcohol?
I know, we've gotten so much better.
Yeah, exactly. A dead man's clothes.
Where we started off, we couldn't even punch this kid in the face.
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
Someone may have told. He's not gonna. He's just gonna go. I don't give a shit.
Listen. Kuno doesn't care about this
There you go.
small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
Ooh.
You'd
What are
have to
these
be
boots?
blind not to notice
These
the
boots are
giant
better than
white
anything
letters,
you'll wear. Little shit.
FALN running down
Oh,
his
hang on.
trouser leg.
Did he steal clothes from the lorry?
They must have. What's because they've mentioned FAL name. What?
That
What
was
was
the
it
truck.
again?
That was a truck type, like the model.
Okay.
All right, entertain me. What's so great about these pants?
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit.
Liquid
performance
fit.
Crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists.
Next time I wear some jeans that might be a little bit too tight, I'm gonna say that they're liquid fit. That is a good term to take.
Liquid fit and performance crotch.
Yeah, I'll say that to Lisa, and she'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Believe it, you need this shit.
Steve once again lives up to his name as the filth-bag pirate.
Mm-hmm. Boy, does he.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready.
Ooh.
They will also make you into an idiot.
Yeah, we don't want to give money to this little shit either.
We'll just talk about it later though,
Alright, Pico, shit's rolling.
because it might give him more inclination to speak to us.
Business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno.
Oh.
As you can see,
That would be good if we could
Kuno
Kingdom Come
and C
this.
don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
Okay.
There's
Better
more
who
to his
hasn't watched.
distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now.
For anyone that
So-
doesn't know, in Kingdom Come, you can pay for something really big, and then pickpocket them later and get the money back.
Excellent.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
Yes, does this racist mug have anything to do with it?
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker? Cause he's the clothes fucker?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with this crime scene. Cleaned some of it up.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator.
Yep.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together here.
Oh, yeah.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno.
Kuno
You're trying
S,
to get
go
hooked
away.
on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
Jesus. She's as bad as electrochemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face.
Oh, we had him until she piped up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take her out.
Yeah, I think so. Need piano wire and throw a few Rio coins to get his attention away.
Let's see, what would it be? She would get a...
Crowbar to the face.
The ladder. Ever climb it?
Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get
Yeah,
Kuno
take her to a
killed.
dinner street curb.
So you would say the ladder is unclimbable? Oh, we've got a redemption. Who will be the next target? Let's see.
Your target is Dr. Pentangle 47.
I can't hear it. I don't know who it was. You're gonna have to tell me who it was. It's not coming through my speakers. Oh, Savvy's gonna be real upset.
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
Dr. Pentangle is one of my followers. He is Savvy Bear's husband, who is also one of my followers.
Was that a reference to one of the old canon films?
Hmm?
The bad guys are called the Pentangle.
No, I'm not sure.
They're like alt-right guys.
I doubt he would fall into that category.
It could be a reference to though,
Kuno
because
doesn't
they're the
give a
bad
shit.
guys. It's not like an alt-right. Probably the opposite because they are the bad guys and portrayed that way. But so the movie is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Exhausted. Hang on, let's have a
Kuno
look
doesn't-
at the log now. 500 clams is pretty expensive though. All right. I'll do another target just for fun. I won't know who it is, so you're gonna have to tell me again.
Your target is Geese Pete 47. Good luck.
Okay, so it does actually mean something.
Oh, who was it, Psyche? Was it you? Geese Pip, yeah, she deserves it. All right, well, let's see. Where do we...
Oh, there's a film.
I'll quickly click on this.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that
Ooh.
covers the plaza mosaic.
Didn't see this before. Maybe because our perception's
No.
higher. Visual calculus, come on, baby.
The tire
Yes!
tracks were left here by an unknown event
Oh, this is
that
cool.
took place some days ago.
Yeah.
It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
This is significant for sure.
Maybe, probably, an ominous warning of bad things ahead.
Sweet, that was so good. One of the things you said, Michael, is there's a lot of stuff we can sell, so maybe we'll go there and we'll call it after we sell some stuff. In here. Oh, a pawn shop. Sorry. I thought it was in the can thing. You ever take bottles and cans to a bottle, like a bottle yard, Steve, to get money?
Don't think so. Vague memories of maybe doing it once, but I don't know if it's that or watching it on like a TV show, movie, or something.
I used to
is
do
that-
it always because of where I lived as a kid, but it was always on the bottles that says South Australia. You get like 5 extra more cents.
Yeah. I always thought it was the South Australia only thing.
JTEL, I guess it's the same word for us. The same pronunciation. Pawn and porn.
Officer, the flashlight.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. There's
Got his eyes shined.
Let's see.
I thought that story of the.
Crowy.
I think I said before that movie they used to show in my school constantly, but they must have not shown you. Where it's like a documentary about the two guys that drove from basically the top of Australia to the bottom. So it was Darwin. I think it might have been to Melbourne or maybe to Adelaide. Probably to Adelaide.
Let me know if I can.
So they went through the middle of Australia, which is mostly desert, but they basically picked up empties all the way. They did it because they didn't have any money, so they had like a bike that they rigged up like a little engine to, so it's a little bit motorized, and they'd pick up empties on the way and use that for food and stuff, but also petrol.
Sure. Let me have a look.
Which one should we... I mean, Northern Australia is pretty tropical in general.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Darwin's a little bit tropical. They've got palm trees
Yeah,
and
I
shit.
don't think it's completely desert, but it's... I think it's technically
Anything
tropical,
else
even
you're
if it's
thinking
not as
is
lush
really-
as Queensland.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in ages. I always picture it as a desert just because I haven't been there for so long, and I associate most of the Northern Territory with desert.
And no one wants to go there.
Yeah.
Alright, what are we selling, Michael? From this screen? The only words you know in Australian are Mel Gibson. Oh, that's a shame. I didn't sell the thing I got from the computer. Sell the cannonball. The shot put. Alright. How do I sell it? Oh, up the top here. Okay. Anything else? That was worth $13. That's not bad. Yeah, I don't think I sold the filament memory. I think I just left it in the machine itself. I just didn't activate it. The only thing about this gun is, like, it's worth $11, sure. Oh, and there's no issues with selling these things? Okay, should I sell the gun then? Am I going to get my gun back so I can start shooting people with my real gun? I don't know. Okay. And we'll sell it. That's alright, we'll sell my clothes.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. And certainly not expensive armor that's liable to bring mercenaries to my doorstep.
Oh, like my shoes, my fancy
And
shoes.
especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects.
Fair enough.
Your mother is a necrotic object. I'm fun. Look at me sparking in the light of the projector.
That's fair. Okay, we'll call it good,
Another
that's fine.
time, perhaps.
Need to get our gun. But you know what? We'll go up here, we'll save it, and we'll call it. Once again, thank you so much for joining. It has been absolutely fantastic with all of our shit talking and adventuring. Oh, you've never heard Neckty's voice? Oh, Neckty he's always barging in at the wrong moments with that voice. He's kind of like the book in It Takes Two. Let us see if there is anyone online. Maybe we can raid across to. Yeah, Pixel's playing at the moment. I will raid Pixel. She's great. She does really good pixel art, and she plays old games for the first time. She actually went through Prince of Persia just before Steve did for the first time and loved it, which is great. Yeah, cool. So as for streams upcoming, I might do a Rocksmith stream soon. It's been too long. I need to get my my calluses back in, in action.
And I didn't know that, so I wasn't copying out when I did the Prince of Persia stream.
That's all right. You're gonna do your Commodore 64 stream soon, right?
Yeah, I think so. It might take a bit because I was doing the prep work.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Until next time, let me just move you to this screen here. There we go. And have a good one.